Page 55 and 56 shows you how to take care of the voter when they come to you for information. I love that page. This is real easy. You read it one time and you go, I got it. I know how to take care of it. And also, the information clerk, they're going to sit by the by the door. You initially come into the poll site, like let's say you go vote, either to the right or to the left, there's an information clerk with sitting in a chair with a table. And there's some materials that they have to work with, right? And they work with that street finder and that poll site list. Those items go together. So if I'm lost, they're gonna look for the street finder. I'm gonna show you a copy of it. Right? Like this. Street finder. Okay? It's all the addresses in the Bronx, A through Z. Right? So now you know how the blocks work, right? One side is even, the other side is odd. So for each neighborhood, for each address, it's broken down by even odd, which makes it real easy. So if I say to you guys, hey, I live in 120 Alcott Place, what are you going to do? You're going to go to A for Alcott, right? Once you find Alcott Place, what number are you going to hit? 120. So you got to look at the bracket that falls into 120, which is 112 and 130. That's where I live. You see that? And I'm showing you now, but I'm not talking about it, but when I show you later, it's all going to make sense, okay? So when you open this up, and you go to Alcott, you go to 120 Alcott, to the right, there's columns. And the columns that you're going to look for are two. There's going to be AD and ED. That's what you're going to look for. You got to find my ED and my AD. Once you find my ED and my AD, there's this item that's called a poll site list. The poll site list is broken down by AD. So if my AD is 82, I'm going to find 82. If my ED is 79, then to the left of 82 is going to have all the locations. And when you hit 79, you're going to find out that I belong in 2049 Bartow Avenue, Community Center, number 2. See, I'm explaining it to you, but when I show you later, it's all going to make sense. Okay? So those two items, the information clerk at the table, they're in charge of that. Okay? Because it takes the pressure away from the table. However, if I'm at your table trying to get my ballot and I don't belong there, then you have to help me use those steps that I just described and find out where I belong. That's why I have to show you how to use those items. It's easy. All you do, I got you, officer. All you do is all you gotta have is patience. Now, if you're at the table, you're the clerk at the table, the inspector, and there's a whole bunch of voters, and you look over to the information clerk, and there's no one, excuse me, sir, ma'am, the information clerk is gonna take care of you. They're going to tell you exactly where you belong. And so you take that voter, the voter will go in. Okay? Make sense? So when I get to it later, page 55, 56, we're going to roll and use an example on how that goes. Accessibility clerk, they take a 2-hour class. I'm not talking about that. They're in charge of the outside signs. They're important because they take care of these signs here, the ADA signs. They have to place those, I got you, they place those in the correct form, right? So that if I have some form of disability, I have to follow some arrows and look at some signs so that I know where to go into, okay? I'm going to briefly talk about that later. But they have a 2-hour class, they know what they need to do, that's their job. That's why it's not highlighted in red. Interpreter, they're just there to take care of those who need the process to be transferred from English to Spanish. And how do we know a site has an interpreter? Census. Census tell us that the majority of the people in a certain neighborhood are overpopulated by Spanish people. So that means that location has to have a Spanish interpreter. Make sense? If you go to Queens, you got the Greeks. If you go to Brooklyn, you have the Italians, right? They have certain interpreters because the census say they need it. Okay? If you go to Starling and Castle Hill, the population of Bengali-speaking people are growing. And so this year they're going to have a Bengali-speaking interpreter. Right? Because the census said, hey, you need help over here. All right. AD monitor, they work for the Board of Election. They go around, they have a packet, and they go to different places to make sure you guys are okay. It says AD monitor. If you see them, ask for, if you need help, and you see them, ask for help. Say, listen, and they'll help you. That's their job, okay? But they're also there to write you up if you're not doing your job. Okay? Standby relief workers. Read down now. Don't get. Page 9, please. Page 9. Page 9 talks about the poll watcher. Now the poll watcher works for the candidate. He's going to have a badge, a certification that you see on page 9, poll watcher certification on them. Now they there to do what? Just to simply watch you guys do your job. Make sure that no finagling with the ballots, and no one's over here texting by the scanners and so on. Okay? Right? So the poll watcher, he'll come to your table and he'll try to touch your stuff. And you say, listen, you cannot touch my stuff. You have your rules and regulations that you have to follow. See, the sign is on the wall too. For the poll watchers. When they'll test you, they'll be like, can I say, no, stay away from my table, sir. You have rules and regulations. Go read them. Absolutely. They work for the candidate. They're going to try to do anything and everything to violate the voting process so they can have something to write you up for. Because if my candidate loses by any percentage, he's going to say, I know why. Because that person over there, Mr. Jones, messed up. They were texting. They let me touch their stuff. You see that? That's their job. Now they could come to your table and say, hey, how many people has come so far? And you can tell them that. That's nothing. Just 55, 100, 200. It's just numbers. Make sense?
Yeah.
Correct.
How do you know that?
How do I know what?
How many people have come?
Because if you go to the table, there's the voter registration list and the ballots. And if you look at the ballot, the last ballot that was given with the stub is how many people came. Look, I got a copy there. I'll show you guys how that works. Okay. Page, let's go to page 11. There's other observers, federal observers. Now, I'm assuming that the federal observers will show up to maybe poll sites that have had problems in the past, right? They were not in compliance. They were breaking the rules, so they already know that. So the federal observers will go and make sure that everything's up to par, right? So they'll probably just show up. And also, they look for a real important sign. They'll look for this sign, Bill of Rights. This sign is always by the door. Now, do we realize, us, that there was a sign that existed, Bill of Rights? We don't look for that. But it's that important. If the federal observer comes in and this is not up, two things are going to happen. One, the Board of Elections is going to get fined for that site, and he or she, the federal observer, will shut the place down. I'm sorry? Bill of Rights. Now the sign, the person that's in charge of the inside sign is the information clerk. I'm going to repeat that. The person that's in charge of the inside sign is the information clerk. Oh, you got that? Yeah. All right. You got it? All right. You got that? Okay. Then we have HAVA, Help America Vote Act. I like that group because that group says, listen, not everybody has ID on them or they leave them at home. So if you go to your poll site and you give your name and for some reason they need you to show them ID. And I'm going to give you an example later. But there's times where ID required is next to some voters. Now, that could be a reason, maybe the voter forgot to sign the form. You know how they're in a rush? They fill it out, but they forget to sign it and give it to the Board of Election and they leave. The Board of Election goes, okay, I got Sam's information. We're going to put him on there. However, he didn't sign it. So we need to have Sam bring his ID to make sure that Sam is who he is, right? So that's what that is. ID required. I just forgot to sign my registration form. Excuse me, my voter, right, the form. Okay? But however, if I do not have my ID, then the HAVA and the Board of Elections says you can use any other ID. You could use a utility bill, you could use bank statement, school ID, and so on. Okay? Passport. And then we have the Board of Election Observers, which is the AD model. Okay? Everybody's good? All right, we're rolling along. We're going to page 17, please. Now, page 17 is what we call a floor plan. Now the coordinator is, the election's on Tuesdays, right? Every year is on Tuesday. So the coordinator, what the coordinator can do is go to his or her site on a Sunday. Because they have a packet and they got numbers from custodians, principals, and everything. So the coordinator is going to call the custodian and they're going to meet on a Sunday afternoon or morning, whatever. And some coordinators have been working with people for so long that they actually go with the custodian to help prepare the site for you for that morning. And then this is the floor plan. Every site has their own, but remember, not every site is the same. Some are big, small, and some are big. However, the flow must always be the same. Get your ballot, mark it, scan it, out the door. So the coordinator is going to have to make judgments on how to do certain things, but it has to be the same. Okay? And then this is what's going to help you set it up. Okay? This is what you're going to look at. They're going to come in, information clerk to the right, people to the left, and then the tables. Then we got some privacy booths with B&Bs. See that? Scanner, and then the out the door. So it's a flow. Right? Any questions? All right. 18 and 19, we're moving along. We're going to hit that B&B in a couple minutes. Now, I told you about the voter bill of rights. Whose responsibility for the inside sign? That's right, Arthur. Thank you, sir. Voter bill of rights and the inside signs are the information clerk's responsibility. Poll watcher's guide right here. That's for the poll watcher. Okay, the information clerk is in charge of the inside signs. Those two, I just wanted to touch on those two. Go to page. You see these signs here? Watch. I'm going to show you. These signs and this sign go together. It goes on the wall with the wheelchair and the alleys. I'm going to show you how. If this was a voting site and the entrance had no ramp or anything for the voter who has some form of disability to come in, then this sign will be at the front. The accessibility clerk would put that sign on in the front. In those two lines, the accessibility clerk has to put basic information on it. Just say, what's the corner here? Is that 180? No, 184. It is 184. Yeah. All right. So if I'm at the front of Monroe College, that sign is going to say, make a right at 184. In the middle of Monroe College is your entrance. You see that? So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to see 184. So I'm going to come to 184 and make a right. But in between, every few steps, there are those vote here signs, the arrows, and also these to guide me to where I have to go. And then finally, when I get to that door, the sign is going to welcome me, which is this sign here. You see that? Now the difference between, and believe me or not, you see this sign? That's an old one. They want this one. Because this one is in motion. And believe it or not, the ADA, Americans with Disability Act, told the Board of Election that this sign is more effective, right? It speaks volume than just somebody just sitting on a wheelchair. Because this is telling the person we're moving forward. That's what we want, right? So that's what they fought for. Believe it or not, they fight for that. But it makes a lot of sense. That's what you're finding. Any questions? Go to page 21, can you please? Now, usually I would show a video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to open and close the B&D myself, okay? The only thing, sir, is that I want you guys to kind of get up and go next door because I want everybody to make like a little circle and I want to be able to talk about the B&D. Okay, fair enough? It's only for those two items, the B&D and the scanner. All right, so are we okay? You could bring your book with you or you could leave it. But this is how simple this process is, that you might not have to use it. Okay? So if you please can follow me to the next room. Oh.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Actually, I want my friend here.
Oh, wait.
Sit down.
Yeah,
He's gonna swing right here. All right. All right, guys. Now, the reason why I like to show this, again, I always go back to visual and hands-on. Because, the majority of us learn better when we do things, when we see it, right? And then later on, when we read it, it all comes together. It makes a lot of sense. So I really don't like to show video unless if I use this at the same time. So I'd rather use this. Now, this is called the BMD, ballot marking device. The book tells you that page 21 all the way to like 23 shows you how to open this. And then there's later on, like page 50 something, it shows you how to close it. I'm not going through all that. I'd rather just open and close at the same time, because that's how simple this machine is, okay? Now, watch yourself, I'm trying to swing this around.
Go ahead.
Now, what I'm going to do, back up slightly. Now, what I like to do, maneuver this right here, so used to this. I learned how to do it.
Yeah,
All right. So, at 5 o'clock in the morning, when you get to your site, the coordinator is going to have, for everyone, responsibilities. Remember the responsibilities we talked about? He's going to get a big white envelope. It's going to say police envelope. Inside that big white envelope are responsibilities, right? There's a whole bunch of envelopes like this. Now, he has to, or she has to determine who to give these responsibilities to. And he or she is going to start to hand them out. So now let's just make believe that it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm your coordinator. And I just said to you guys, this is your job. You need to open this up, set it up, and make sure that it's up and running, right? Before 6 a.m. This takes about 15 minutes to put together. Literally. And you're going to have all that time to review your book. That's why I say bring your books with you. Once you find out your position, just review it, because you're going to have a lot of time in the morning to review certain things. Now, if this is my position, and I ask you guys to do the same, because it works for a lot of people, is to 5 o'clock in the morning, there's no voters in there, so you can dump all your stuff on there. You need to verify some items. Of course, the 2 red for the end of the night, because you start with 2 green. So you got the 2 red. Now the seals report is pretty much, it has all the seals recorded from the outside and the inside. So all you're going to do is verify. You bypass. Remember, you're not doing this by yourself. There's always 2 people. Okay? Make sure I got that. I got my keys, right? I also have an emergency number just in case. Now, don't use this. Let the coordinator know, and if the coordinator is going to tell you what to do. Okay? If he says, hey, call the board, tell him you have a problem with the BMD, you do it. But let the coordinator know first, because usually they'll take care of it themselves. Okay? I got my red. My bipartisan, I'm going to check it with the seals report, and we're good. I like to do that early in the morning. I'm going to put my reds back. Remember, I'm not doing this by myself. In fact, come over here, Francesca. Francesca is my bipartisan. She's going to stand here and make sure that everything's good. She's got my back. All right? All right. Now, this is the BMD cart. The BMD is inside. Okay? And then this is exactly how it should show in the morning. The back of the BMD must face the public because the front must be facing a wall 5 feet away from the wall. And the reason for that is when I open this and it's 5 feet from the wall, the voter has the room to swing around and then mark their ballot privately. And then my bipartisan eye, just go. So now, I'm going to repeat this, only because this is the back of the BMD card, so it has to face the public, right? And the front must be 5 feet away from the wall. How many feet?
5.
How many feet?
5.
Okay, you guys can remember that. Now, don't confuse. I'm easy to confuse. So my bipartisan, just before I start, my bipartisan eye, this is our job, stand right there. And we're 5 feet away, this is our job at an angle, right? Like that. That's what you're going to do if this is your job. Once you open it up, but I'm just showing you because we're not going to have time for that. So we're just there like this, staring at each other. Nah, so just kind of hang it out, right? And the voter is here marking their ballot, which I'm going to show you how that works. But that's going to be your job if this is your job, okay? That's what it's all right. Right, paper ballots. Right, this is where I'm marking. I'm going to get there. All right, you can go back. All right, so now this is what to do. It's 5 in the morning. I'm going to cut the green seal because this is my job. I'm going to call out the seal number, and she's going to check it in the seals report. Because the seals report has all the numbers right there. Okay? And then she's going to hold the envelope. And then she's going to put this green inside the envelope. So far, so good? All right. I'm going to take my barrel key and open up 1 door, 2 door. Now, this is the back of the BMD. Okay? If you've never seen it, Gabrielle, have you seen this? You can stand right there. Yeah. Come. You can sit right there and you can look. Exactly.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. Don't need to sit.
Actually, I need this room. Good, thank you.
You should want me to get out there.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No, I'm scared of you.
Communications, you know.
I'm scared of you. I don't want you to hit me. All right. This is the back of the BMD. You see the red seals? All we do is verify. Call out the number. She's going to put her initials next to the seal number, okay? You see this little storage bin? Now a rug is going to come inside there. Just take that rug out and place it on the side of the BMD. Okay? I'm going to repeat myself. The BMD rug goes to the side of the BMD. Okay, guys? Do we remember that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the black cord. Obviously, it's too short because remember, the BMD is 5 feet away from the wall, so it's not going to be sufficient. So the Board of Election gave you an extra extension like this. You see that? They want you to take the BMD cord and connect it, and then take out as much as you can, or want, or need. Top hole, bottom hole, swing it, connect it to the wall. Okay? They want you to place this extension right back. They want you to take the BMD cord and swing it right in there. You see? So we'll be able to close it. The who? Yes, that's extension.
You need to use it.
No, stay with me. No, stay with me. This would not be sufficient enough to connect to the wall because look how small it is. You have to be 5 feet from the wall. So there's an extra extension by the side of the BMD. They all have it. Okay? They want you to connect the BMD here to the extension and hook it on. They want you to take the BMD cord and swing it right inside nice and neat so that we can be able to close this. Okay? I'm going to close 1 door. I'm going to close 2. I'm going to take my barrel key and close up the back of the BMD cart. I'm done with the back. Now remember, for training purposes only, I got to swing this, okay? But at the day of the election, the back must face the public. You're going to set it up exactly how it looks here, 5 feet from the wall. Make sense?
So you roll it out, you plug it in, you check all the pads,
Right.
you put the rug out.
Where do you put the rug?
On the side.
That's it.
Right. And then you just put you make sure the extension cord is there all hooked up on the left.
Correct.
And you lock it back up.
Right.
So you don't leave it alone.
Right.
It can't be tampered with.
Correct.
And then you turn it back around.
No.
And leave it as is. The door has to face the
Thank you.
public.
Okay, well, stay with me, guys. I trust me. Absolutely. Exactly how. But like I always say, for training purposes only, I'm going to turn this around. Okay? Watch your feet. I'ma tell you ladies, or I tell people all the time, right? Young ladies, open toe shoes, keep them in your bag. If you're working with any of the machines, there's a good chance you might run over your foot, or if you do one of these, you might slip. That scanner, I've heard stories that girls or women do this to the brake, and they cut their foot because it's metal and it's sharp in the bottom. All right? So, from who? Not from me. I have no money to give anybody. Now, I'm glad you said that. I do not work for the Board of Election. I'm contracted by the Board of Election. I don't work for them. I thought you were shouting me out. My daughter does that all the time.
I was.
Trying to get my attention.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so look, what I did to the back, I got to do to the front, right? I'm going to cut my green. I'm going to call out the number. Going to confirm and put it into the envelope. I'm going to open up one door, open up two, open up three. I just opened up the BMD cart. The BMD is right here. There's going to be some red seals. There might be a red tape seal here. All you got to do is confirm. We don't cut or remove red. We only confirm, right? That's what we're going to do. There's some accessories here that we need to go over, and I'm going to do that later on. That's part of your responsibility too. I'm going to put them right on top of here because I need to make sure everything's there. I'm going to get to everything. I promise you. Stay with me, guys. I'm telling you. Stay focused. I'm going to go. My name is Sam. I'm going to go over everything. I'm telling you, I'm going to go over everything. I'm going to take care of everybody here. I love the BMD because there's always open and close. You see that? So we're not trying to finagle. It's here. If you forget to bring your book, just take this out and follow the steps. Now I'm going to open up the BMD. Before I do, the flat head key is what's going to turn on your BMD. Now the reason why it's on now is because I have to have it ready for you guys. It takes about 20 minutes to warm up in the morning. So if this is your position, make sure you directly go there and turn it on, okay? So you hook it up exactly how I did it. Now it would just, all you have to do is search. It's going to be to the left, put it to the middle, and remove. And remove your keys. You see how it's green? And it's going to start to warm up. Okay? At that point, I'm going to give my keys to my bipartisan. She's going to put it in the envelope because I don't want to lose that. Now, this is exactly how we open up the BMD. Listen up. I like to push these, I like to call them ears, to the side. I like to tip my cap, stretch my body out. With my right hand to the side, if I do it in the middle, I'm going to scrape my knuckles with the metal. I'm going to pull to the side, forward, all the way forward. I'm going to lean my body down. I'm going to pinch these ears in. I'm going to lean the screen. And then I'm going to take my feet out. I just opened the BMD. And what you do in the morning is what you do at night when you're closing up. Simple. It's a simple job. Close it the same way. Put the feet in. Or it's 9 o'clock at night. All right, we're ready to go. I'm going to lean this down. Take the keys, turn it off. And I'm going to do that in here. See that? So what you do in the morning, do at night. I'm going to show you how a battle looks when the voter comes to use this. Okay? That's where this guy's feet up. Huh?
Take your feet up.
My who?
Your feet, like you said.
My feet? What? Oh, the feet up?
Yeah.
Trying to correct you. I'll be back. Some people watch it. I'll be back. I got to bring it back. Now, I'm going to go over this in 2 minutes. So these are the accessories. They're bringing me a ballot so that I can show you guys what to do with that. Always like to do this. My bipartisan and I are going to put everything together. So what's in here? Your seals report back in there, your keys, the 2 red for the night, and the 2 broken greens, and your emergency number. You're going to fold this, and you're going to put this in the back in this little plastic holder right there, okay? Because remember, that's facing us anyway, so we know where it's at. Because at the end of the night, you need the keys to start to shut down to get my ballot. You got it? All right, my brother. Thank you, sir.